One of the things that I think is helpful when we suspect that someone is harboring resentment or that they're going into shame is just to pause and ask that person, what are you telling yourself right now? What story are you telling yourself? And if you do some self-analyzing and reflection, the story that you're telling yourself is, she doesn't think that I can do anything great. She thinks that she can do a better job. She doesn't appreciate anything that I do. I just spent all this time and nothing is good enough for her. And those feed resentment. Right. That is like the perfect concoction for resentment. That's why I have to take a pause and say, what story are you telling yourself right now?
Because there was a previous attachment in my life that said those things to me, or I perceived they did. And that's where the core wounding came. And now I'm perceiving that you're echoing the same, a new attachment is saying the same thing. I relive it, I reopen, and I transfer that to you. I project that onto you, and it has nothing to do with you. And that is the addict story. That's where a lot of our resentments come from.
So betrayed partners, obviously, we also experience resentment, and it can be a reflection of repeated actions. So if our partner is abusive and constantly abusive, that is going to create resentment. It's an understanding of, he knows what this does to me, but he chooses to continue to do that over and over and over. That is some deep-rooted resentment. And I felt that really early, especially when I would feel like I had to pause and step away from providing myself safety in order to fix a shame spiral that you were in, or to chase after you because you were stonewalling me. And reflecting back, boy, did that create resentment. As a betrayed partner, one of the things that we can do when we feel resentments bubbling up is apply boundaries to keep ourselves safe. Forgiveness does not mean that we're tolerating behavior. It simply means that we are not associating ourselves to someone else's actions or their inability to provide safety for us. I'm forgiving this. Moving forward, I'm not going to be held hostage to your behaviors, but I am going to put some really deep parameters and boundaries in place to protect myself. And when we start doing that, then we can relinquish some of the resentment that we had because we're no longer tied to them. We're no longer a hostage.
We post daily, so subscribe now for more recovery tips.